I just realized why people move to gated neighborhoods, man. I
Because you
think
don't you get away from the bullshit.
Yeah, I think I'm a gated neighborhood Negro now. Thank you for checking out the Boys Quarter podcast, where we are in the compound, but we don't belong in the main house. We're available, so feel free to go and check us out on all the audio platforms. But since you are here, please do click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into this content. I need to be in. I need to be away from that, man. I can't be looking at dysfunction and just be saying, yeah, I have plenty of potential for
You keep
dysfunction
saying you want to
within
be a
me.
billionaire. You keep saying you want to be a billionaire. If you become a billionaire, you looked at dysfunction and said, God, amen. That's
You
what
know
you.
what? I don't particularly want to be a billionaire. I have a feel. I think like I am, and I know it's a certain delusion I have, but I
You
definitely
play a
think.
character about it then.
I
You just
think
have a character on stage. All of the billion.
maybe you maybe yeah maybe there is
You
something in
get
there
to
I need
live
to
out all
explore.
your you get to live out all your snobbish fantasies behind the character.
But I mean, for me, it's not really even about being a snob. It's just about like wanting the right things and wanting to be around those who understand the importance of doing the right thing. And I find
Well,
people
what's the
with like
right
that
thing?
across economic scales.
Well,
I
what's the
find
right thing?
uh, for me, in terms of my explanation, I can put it into scenarios for you, but
Mm-hmm.
holding a high level of ethics and principles, holding a high level of loving behavior to those
As it
around you.
pertains to you, though, right? Because you can
Mm-hmm.
say Bezos or Tesla have a high moral of ethics and thingy as it
Mm-hmm.
pertains to them. But someone I could look at and be like, rah. Like, for instance, you heard about LeBron being called out that you
Yeah.
speak up against Nike for their manufacturers in China. How
Oh,
many
I
Nike
don't know,
trainers do
man.
you have?
Plenty,
Do you
plenty.
worry about the China to charge factory in China?
No, I don't.
Right. Because
Every once in a while I do, but
and
on
what
my
do you do
own.
after that? You just clean the train and say, you know what, I'm gonna do my part.
Yeah, man, keep it clean,
Okay, and the least I can do is keep these fresh for y'all.
yo.
But what I'm saying is, I can't now judge you and say, oh, you're supposed to be an epic and moral guy, but you're wearing these trainers while
You
kids are
can.
China.
No, but you hundred
Why would
percent
I do?
can.
That's not your fault, though. Hold on a second. If I gave you $1 billion today, well,
Yeah.
you're not gonna buy anything.
Of
You're not
course
gonna
I'm not
Gucci
gonna
at
buy
the.
it.
You're not gonna Gucci at the bed.
Nah, come on, man. That's not my aim in life. My aim is to
No, no,
get
no,
some
no, no,
nice
no, no.
sheets, yeah, but not
Listen, listen.
Gucci.
If I give you $1 billion today and you don't do something ignorant, do you understand what life is about?
I
You're
don't
not
even know
gonna
what to
get
do with
you're
that
not
statement.
you're not gonna hire a limo and just drive with your ass out. You're not gonna do that.
No.
Why
What do
not?
you mean?
Why not? Do you know what? Do you know why you should do that? Because when the police pull you over and they say, "Fuck, are you doing? I'm a billionaire." They'll be like, "This, have a good night, sir."
But that's the thing. My aim in life is not to prove something to anybody.
I'm not saying prove something to anybody. I'm just saying, and that's why you've not got the billion yet, because you don't know how to be ignorant yet.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
Because let me tell you
maybe
something like that.
so.
If I got $1 billion tomorrow, oh shit, I'm taking a plane out. We're having an orgy in space.
Okay, but why don't you have the billion yet? If you know how to be ignorant, why don't you have the billion yet?
Because because I don't believe being a billion is good. I
Okay,
don't
fair
believe
enough. I
having
don't, I
money
don't, I
is
don't
a good thing.
particularly think that being a billionaire is necessarily good or evil. But what I do think is, I do understand the mentality of somebody who gets that amount of money because usually what they're trying to
Because
do
they're evil.
is build the world that they want to see it. Right? That's
They
all I
create the
understand from
world
it.
that they want to see with their money, but
Yeah.
they don't change the world. They don't cure anything in the world. The world is sick in a sense where you can't solve the issues of human beings because we're all
Oh, you
free
definitely can't,
high.
and you definitely can't solve it with money because it
No,
exists
you
in the
can't.
hearts of people. But
There's so many things we do to try and heal ourselves: church, religion, sex, alcohol, whatever it is. And all the people like you, if you had $1 billion, listen, if I had $1 billion today, man, my strip clubs in Lagos would be so lit. Because one thing I know is this: people like to see ass. Someone create an environment, and guess what, Allah? The more ass and strip clubs you create, less violence. How much violence do you hear in Nigerian clubs? How much violence?
bro,
Do you know why there's no violence in Nigerian clubs? Because you don't want to fuck around and start a riot or start a fight in a club where they bring the area boys to come and sort it out.
okay, but why is there still violence in Miami then?
What you mean?
They go in Florida. There's hella strip clubs, hella ass,
It depends on where you are. Where I was, there was no violence. You go down to where the Haitians at, I can't say nothing.
Why are you putting that on the Haitians, though?
Why
you got to say about the Haitians?
Where did you go to in America? You went to New York, right?
I've been to a few different places.
Where did you stay?
Well, I've stayed in a lot of places, you know. I've been to Boston, I've been to Brooklyn, I've been to Bronx, I've been to...
Have you stayed in Marcy Projects?
Not Marcy. Not Marcy. But I stayed in Brooklyn before.
No, but okay. Did you stay in Bed-Stuy Project? Did you stay in the projects where them rappers come from? Or did you just stay close enough to get the feel of it?
I just stayed downwind. I just wanted to catch the whiff. That smells like good rapper.
You just want to feel there's imminent danger, but I don't want to be in it.
I went to the block where they shot Do the Right Thing for what's his name's block party.
Did you go to the block where they sell packs though?
Of course not. What am I doing? I'm there to do stand up. Why am I hanging with the trappers? What am I doing in the trap house? What am I doing in the trap house?
Don't lie. Wasn't there a part like I would just love to see these niggas slanging on the block?
Come on, man. Obviously, man, watch The Wire and that. Man wants to see a little something go down. No, I've seen the madness go down. I've seen stuff go down. But I've been to Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? I went to Slauson. I went to because I actually wanted to be there though. When I was in LA, I was staying in Brentwood, and that's like OJ's area. I was right next to Beverly Hills. So the day that I drove to Slauson, pardon?
You go to Crenshaw?
Yeah, I was on Crenshaw Boulevard.
Okay, but you go to a party in Crenshaw?
No, I don't know nobody in Crenshaw, bro. What you talking? But I visited a friend who lived in Inglewood.
My point is this, yeah. You can see how infamy is appealing as well, in the sense where, you know, you've heard so much about these things.
Of course.
When I first went to the red light district, I started taking pictures. The way these goons came out, and we're like, no pictures. And I was just thinking, it became a joke I wrote on stage. I was like, listen, it's not a tourist attraction. They're working. You know, you wouldn't like it if you're working at your little job. People just come and start taking pictures of you.
Yeah.
I said everybody didn't make sense. Yeah. But it didn't occur to me. I thought it's the red light district.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is the crack house. This is how y'all do the thing. Okay. Like, I'm reliving my imagination of it.
Yeah.
This is real shit going on.
Bro, I told you when I landed in LA, I put on California Love as I drove off in the rental car, bro. And a dude pulled up next to me at the traffic light, looked at me and gave me the nod, and I was like, yo,
it's real out here.
I think I'm a crip right now. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm down.
Now, why didn't you do that when you came out of New York?
Why didn't I do what? I didn't rent a car.
No, you should have done that in New York when you drive a car in New York and play California Love through.
Nah, that's not the vision.
That's California heat.
That's not the vision I was trying to live, if you understand. But come on, man.
And Ola, you say a billionaire. Okay, look at Escobar and all those drug dealers. They became billionaires. They were trying to change the world as they saw fit.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I just identify with the mentality. I don't think I'm necessarily going to become a billionaire.
That's not necessarily the cash flow.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's like when I think about the things I would like to do with money, it's more about creating the kind of world I'd like to live in than it is about the stuff I want to get.
But
that's what I just mean by I identify with billionaires.
We might not want to live in that world.
I know, but then you should get your own money up so you can make the decisions.
But then we'll be at loggerheads.
And that's the part of the game, man.
Then I have to kill you.
And that's part of the game, man.
Wow. Well, and you say I'm the cynical one.
No, bro, I have my cynicism.
So you're going to be putting out hits?
No, I'm not going to be putting out hits. I'm telling you, I don't even know if
You hear all the 6 billionaires have got hits on you. You're just going to be like, well, I'm just going to be a good Christian and just pray for everybody, send healing energy to everyone.
Do you know what, bro? At the end of the day, I don't need to get $1 billion for people to want to kill me. Look, if somebody wants to kill me today, at the end of the day, I still have to do what I came here to do. And at the end of the day, why do most men do most of what they do? It's either because they want some sense of achievement, legacy, what it is to pass something on to their children, whatever. It's still the same mission. But all I'm saying is, for me, when I dream about being rich, there are some things I want. Like I would love to have a nice house and to be able to have a nice car or whatever it is. But I tell you that most of my fantasies about being rich are about revolutionizing the architecture in Lagos or like a football you know, we discussed it on a previous pod about having like a proper football league and how I'd like to like own teams and like get the branding up, get people wearing the shirts, get like the footballers in the papers and drive the branding and blah,
And
blah, blah.
hopefully we get enough poor people to storm the grounds.
Enough of what?
Poor people to storm the grounds during the African Champions League final.
No, but bro, these are the things that I genuinely dream
Ola,
about.
you know what it is, Ola? Yeah, I just believe at the system. You know how they say in the waste that comes out of it. You see what I'm saying? For the system that it creates, there's a lot of waste that comes out.
Yeah.
You have like the World Cup final, for instance. There's going to be ticket outs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Selling astronomical tickets.
Yeah.
The system creates that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the system is responsible for the good that comes out of it and also for the shit that comes out of it. Because even if we create a great football league, we're gonna have to deal with so much. The reason why football's so corrupt is because there's so much money.
Of course, but here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing, and this is like a.
I'm asking you, how do we keep our hands clean?
Yeah, that's the biggest question of all. Here's what I think, right? Life is full of choices and trade-offs. And that's a phrase I've taken from Kevin Samuels, but it's a general learning that I've had to figure out over time. I'm very idealistic at times, and so I come into a situation and be like, I want to do everything based on my terms. But what I do understand about the way God does things, right? If I look at the way that God has allowed my life to go, he hasn't said that nothing bad should happen to me. But he has said that whether good or bad, I'm going to work it out ultimately for your good. And I'm never going to allow it to overwhelm you to the point where you don't feel like I'm still here with you, right? You can always come back to me. So then I take that model out into the world. It doesn't mean that everything I'm going to do is perfect. It doesn't mean that everything is going to be smooth and according to my plan. But what it does mean is that if I continue to walk with God, love my family, and try to do the best with what I have, then God will work everything else out to the way it's supposed to be. And if that does mean that, you know, for example, if I was in the military, of course I would have to order for someone to die. That's the reality of being in the military. I'm going to have to go and send a soldier to go and, like, put a sniper up there and say, go and kill this person. That's part and parcel of what I need to do here on Earth. I'm no longer... What's that, sorry?
If you're the head of FBI and you have to kill Fred Hampton.
Personally, the way I'm set up, I couldn't be the head of FBI.
Okay.
I'm not that compliant. But I do understand the billionaire side of it. The billionaire who looks at the world and says, you know, I really think I would like more women in the workplace because that doubles the labor force and keeps wages stagnant.
More women in the workplace.
Pardon?
You'd like more women in the workplace.
No, I'm saying that's how billionaires think. Billionaires, while we're fighting about this is our rights, blah, 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 billionaires go, okay, if we let the women in, there's twice as many workers, so we don't have to up wages. We've got more supply. Same demand. Everybody's going to accept the same wages while prices go up. That's how a billionaire looks at the situation. It's those of us at the bottom that fight about, you know, oh, you're such a
those of us at the bottom are trying to be billionaires.
Pardon?
Because everyone's trying to be a billionaire. Of course they can fight.
But my point is that...
If you sit as a billionaire and make the decisions, you've got the money. Of course they're going to fucking bicker.
Yeah.
They don't want a dick.
But I don't have their money, but I already identify with their way of thinking, is what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I'll ever have their money, but I still think in those terms. I still think in terms of, like, if I was to create a nation or create a community or create a neighborhood or how I would put this and this together. That's how I think.
But at the same time, you do realize it won't be perfect.
Of course.
Okay.
That's choices and trade-offs.
And that's why I meant in terms of the people storming the thing, it's choices and trade-offs.
Yeah, come on. The first thing you learn, if you're gonna be a politician, is if you take out all of, like, the top mob bosses, the streets go crazy, right? It's even worse. So sometimes what you're better off having is having those guys in place, but having a code of conduct.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
You don't get to operate in these areas.
Absolutely.
You don't shoot on Sundays.
Absolutely.
Whatever else that you need to do. Absolutely. Choices and trade-offs, right?
Even with that, someone's gonna break the rules.
And then you need to come down on them with the full force of the law. So at least you can hold down the rules.
So first of all, the full force of the law, it gets blurred there because you're protecting somebody who is breaking the law. So to say it's the full force of the law is a lie. But I agree with you in the sense where, and that's why they don't, that's why when you break the rules, for instance, in those worlds, it's straight cut his family up.
100%.
Sure.
100%. But you know the way that, like, and to be honest, this isn't from reality. I have a feeling it's a mirror of reality. But in all those like Law and Order shows and so on, like they investigate murders. But if you murder a cop, like even the criminals know this is a whole nother level, and these guys are even gonna break the rules to try and make sure they get us, and they're gonna. Pardon?
There was a drug dealer called Pappy Mason from Queens, and he was running the game and whatnot. And you know, they were already trying to the bodies were piling up in Queens.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they were like, look, man, let's try and do something about it. And so they were trying to already, you know, get the major players in and try and see who's doing what and, you know, building up the surveillance. And I think the police mentioned Pappy Mason, or the press mentioned him in the paper. And his ego kicked in. He didn't like how they described him. So he ordered the killing of a cop. And this is the beauty of the machine. It was a white cop, and he was a family man too. I think he was 22 years old.
Okay.
A young man. And America took this man's picture and made him the sweetheart of the nation. Hey, Ronald Reagan held his badge. How long do you think the drug game in Queens lasted after that? Bro, they locked up there. They locked me up. That's how they were ruthless.
I think I did some time over that as well.
They moved into that neighborhood. Like y'all killing cops now?
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. There has to be some hard lines and some soft lines.
No, but that's not hard lines. That's just because that's too much insubordination.
That's what I'm saying. That's what a hard line is.
But a hard line should be killing anybody. You can't just kill civilians.
It should.
It should be. This. R. Kelly could operate for 30 years because it was black women. That's not a hard line. That's not good.
I'm saying.
But if you fuck the police, those girls are underage, we should now say, oh, that's just unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree with you. It should.
Police do that though. And the thing is, it's not even like it's a hard line. Police they're a gang, and you fucking one of theirs, they take that personal.
That's how they need to operate on these streets. They're the only ones who are bound by the rules, and so they have to create rules for other people to play with, or else it's gonna be just open season. If you have to prove everything and do everything by the book, and they just get to shoot at you, then after a while it's gonna be like
police though.
Bro,
we just said in general.
I'm saying that like if that was what gangsters did, they just shot at police, and police had to like, hi, this is police.
Yeah,
stop,
but police
blah blah blah.
So crime. They don't mind. You're saying it's okay to shoot at the civilians and kill the people that they can kill.
No, because there's a line there as well. But it's just they have to draw a harder line when you shoot cops, because there has to be an element to which you've escalated this beyond a normal level.
Killing 10 people is not.
I mean, it depends who you kill.
People chopping up people is not. It's not. That's all good.
No, that's clearly not. You know that's not all good, man. You see how it goes, bro. When it depends who. We all know it depends on who dies. If gang members kill each other, you know that's not the same priority as you go kill a 16-year-old white girl. We know this, right? So there are hard and harder lines.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Because what I'm saying, kids or civilians.
Yeah.
The cartel in Miami. The reason why part of it went down was because Griselda was so excited about. Don't just kill someone, make it a scene. To shoot up a public mall. Man. You know what I'm saying? So then the politicians are like, well, no, we don't mind you having cocaine in your little clubs, but now you're shooting up public malls.
This is it. And the thing, you can't come down with the full force of the law on everything. So you do have to have a series of softer and harder lines, depending on what it is.
Black people. We need harder lines. You give us life.
I mean...
But hey, if you're a 70-year-old white kid that goes to another state with an AR-15 and gets into a fight with a kid with a skateboard, you just have to go home. And that's why people don't respect the system. That's why you have these problems. Because like you said, hey, Ola, here's the thing. Here is the thing. Within the rules of the law, it could be fair. You see what I'm saying? But I just know if a black kid had that AR-15, there will be no trial.
Yeah.
That's why people don't trust the system.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to say, hey, I could be partial and be like, hey, that kid, he got a good defense team. They presented their case. You lost. Boom. He can go home.
What I think one of the biggest detriments to us, and now I'm saying it as black people, is the fallacy of fairness. I
Yeah.
think even believing that the world was supposed to be fair
Fair, right?
has
From a
thrown us
beginning
on the
point,
back
it's
foot.
terrible.
If we all understood that it was dog eat dog, right, and it was a case of like nobody ever promised you that things were going to work out for you or that they were going to play by the rules or whatever it is, I think we'd be in a better position, because I think then we wouldn't be lulled into this false sense of like, of course it's going to be fair. What, you mean it wasn't fair? Blah blah blah. We would be more like, well, we
But,
have to compete and we have to fight for everything that we
but
get,
remember,
and then
though,
I think we'd be in a better frame of mind.
remember, everybody fought for that, though. We fought. Everybody assumed they fought for equality, and America said, "Yep, Martin Luther King's plan worked," because they were afraid of Malcolm X's plan of segregation. So
Yeah.
that's why we got. I agree. We got the rope, though, because
Yeah.
because what white people said was, "Let them in. We just don't have to treat them fair."
Yeah, and to be honest, like,
air of fear. And it's the same thing. That's what I tell women in that joke. Whatever you guys are fighting for, I want you to get it. And I want you to know it's never going to happen. They're just going to sing that song for you. But whatever you think is going to happen is not.
Yeah.
You're going to have to step on some women. You're going to have to say to black people, man, I don't see that as a killing. There's some black people that came. You heard what Candice Owens, not Candice Owens. Is it Candice Owens? Who's the black woman that everyone hates? The conservative one. It's Candice Owens.
Yeah, it is Candice Owens. Yeah.
She says George Floyd, she doesn't see it as a problem. The George Floyd incident for her was, well, he's a rape, he's this, he's been to prison, he's that. Why are we caring that he's been killed by a policeman? That was her stance the entire time. And I was thinking to myself, does she really believe this? Does she lack so much empathy? And here's the thing, Ola, it's not about him being black. I should not be able to put up my phone and see a white person or anybody having his knee on a civilian's neck, chilling to the point where he dies. I don't want to live in that world.
Yeah.
Nobody should want that. That should never be comfortable.
Yeah.
Can you imagine as a father, if you were there and you saw a policeman standing on your child's neck, you're probably going to die that day.
Yeah. I don't know, 100%. And to be honest, I do think that for a lot of sort of great anti-conformist, anti-mainstream views that she has, every so often, man, it's like you do need to remember to be a human being, and
that's what I don't get most of the time. We don't remember to be human beings. Every time something happens, the first thing that comes in is our political stance.
That's very, very
true. For the look, what's the right thing to say? Not the right thing to feel, the right thing to say.
I don't think it's necessarily about the right thing to feel. I think it's about, when I said to you that, like, I have an expectation around me for people to do the right thing. This is one of those times, right, where we should say there's a standard for this police officer, and this guy has broken it as a police officer, but first and foremost, he's broken it as a human being. You shouldn't be trying to take anybody's life in a non-life-threatening situation. The guy, you've already got the guy restrained. You shouldn't have your neck on his knee. When he's saying he can't breathe and all this kind of stuff, there should be something human in you, right? So that part hasn't even got to do with politics or anything like that. That's on a purely human level. And so I think she lost the humanity in that point. But I do think that, in terms of the code of ethics I spoke about before and so on, a big part of that is remembering to be human to people. Even though I do like things to be done properly, and I like ethical behavior and all these kind of things, at the very low, like, come on, man. Come on. Like, I think even deep down, even the most staunch conservative looks at that and knows something is wrong with this situation. And whether or not they filter it through their politics or whatever else it is, I don't think there's anybody who can look at that, be healthy. I'm not talking about anybody who has a mental issue. Anybody who's healthy in their right frame of mind and say that this was okay.
But do you think, I want to question that in the sense where, because there's a lot of people that watch that and thought, so what, it's a nigga. Right? Do you think they're not in their right mind?
Well, I don't.
Because, before you went to that question, I understand the world benefits from conflict. That opposing voice still has to get fed. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that documentary on Netflix called The Family, and you see who runs the world. That dark documentary. Yeah. And he took this is when you know how human beings are just, you can't trust them. The nigga took the Bible verse and said, when Jesus sent the shepherd to look after the lamb, The lamb and who did he go and look to? He said, who did Jesus send the shepherd for? Everybody says, obviously the lamb.
Yeah.
He goes, no, what about the wolf?
That was
got his teeth out.
That guy, the way he spun the whole.
Oh no, when I heard that, yeah, I said, that, you know that billionaire mind you talk about?
Yeah.
That shit kicked in like, yeah, fuck them niggas. I watched The Crown, and there was a scene where Margaret Thatcher, the whole African continent, all of the countries wanted her to sign off on something. I think there was 30 of them, right? Yeah. She was the only person holding up the deal. They came back with different proposals. She was just not budging. She finally came round and signed the deal. And the press were trying to spin it as, you know, they got her to cave in to their agreements. And she said, well, did 30 come to the one? Or did one go to the 30? Or did 30 come to the one? I said, oh, where my Vaseline at?
When you meet someone who understands power, it's one of the cold.
You can't fuck with them, Allah.
The chills, you get chills.
Yeah, what she just said. She said, did one go to the 30 or did the 30 come to one? It's how you look at it, bro. Y'all came to me. I'm the powerful one. 30 of you tried to get me to sign something, and I just did it on my own terms.
That's cold game.
And that's how I look at the world, Allah. Allah, look at those quotes. When there's blood on the streets, make money. So when the whole Holocaust, Germany, war, when all that was going on, people dying, there was a motherfucker going, how much you make today?
Bro, Hugo Boss.
Right.
Hugo Boss was making the SS uniforms, bro.
Well, here's the thing.
And now we buy Hugo Boss as a designer, bro.
But here's the thing. Everybody talks about Hugo Boss did this for the Nazis. If Hitler came to you and said, yo, my man, I want you to make a uniform, what you gonna say? No?
I'm gonna pull out the tape measure like, so how you want it? Oh, you want a little tied up here? Or you want it tied up here?
If Putin said, yo, I fuck with the Boys podcast, I'd love to be a guest. You think I'm gonna say, yo, man, what you doing to Ukraine, though? I'm not really feeling that. I'm gonna bring the nigga on.
You putting Putin in the boys' quarters.
I'm gonna Putin. He can say what he wants. And that's the genius. Look at Noriega and Kanye. Nori knew. He probably said, I don't agree with half of this shit, but let this nigga talk.
For real. But what about in terms of like the coldness of when there's blood on the streets make money? I think the best example of that is flipping Switzerland, just being forever neutral. Them niggas like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Money is money. You come drop it in Switzerland.
I don't know how Switzerland's allowed to function. I don't. Because it's all blood money. But anyway, think about it like this though.
But they're such a clean nation. The mountains are so beautiful.
I watched the World War Color in 2 in it. So the World War II in color. I watched it full. Yeah. There were certain nations that knew, hey, we can't talk to this brother. Sweden, Finland, and Switzerland say, yo, pass through, man. Y'all can set up shop right here. Y'all say you want to invade Belgium? Yeah. If y'all take a left. They were friendly as a motherfucker because they didn't want the smoke.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them for that. They weighed up the options. France vacated Paris for Germany. Yeah. Now, obviously, somebody will say, no, we should have died on our feet. Some guy was like,
I don't know about all that.
So they left the city to him. Of course, you'd want the Gallen story that Hitler marched in, and we as the French people said, fuck that, and we died right by the Eiffel Tower. They said, nah, we gonna retreat to the hills.
Bruh.
And that's just human nature, bro. Some of us are like, boom. Do you know when the Black Panthers, some of them stole planes and flew to Algeria because they knew Algeria didn't have an extradition process. I was like, these niggas are from Oakland, though.
But what you put Algeria in the Google Maps? So how'd you make it to Algeria?
They hijacked the plane, right? Told the pilot to go towards Algeria because they knew Algeria didn't have an extradition process with America.
Mad.
That is revolutionary. Not deleting your Twitter account.
Mad.
Now, Allah, I don't care what you say. I'm not hijacking EasyJet ever. I'm not doing it.
Bro. But you know what? Yeah, supposedly the human instinct to stay alive is one of the most powerful instincts we have. And so you probably don't actually know what you're capable of until your life is threatened.
If you're running from police or niggas is shooting at you and you jump high and then you start flying.
Well, you mean I had this all along? And you waiting for now? But
Oh
for
yeah,
real, bro.
and that's a hunt, and that's you have to understand. Yeah, when you talk about slavery and all those things, would it be crazy if I said it's the need to survive? It's that desire to survive. Why do we have to survive at all costs?
And it bred a whole race of superhumans, man.
At all, and then when they got that, they said, "Okay, what's the next survival team? Let's create the NBA."
Yeah, it makes sense.
We're going to survive at all costs. When you see China, America, all them fighting, it's for their fighting for their survival, to hold on to what they've got. The British Empire. Yeah, okay. Well, you got us. We'll let some shit go. But they still knew what to keep.
Yeah, they just had a ceremony to make Barbados a republic. It was like just this week. They said Prince Charles over. You know, they always have to give a speech or whatever it is, say something like how we're still bonded in many different ways. I was like, that's some cold game right there. Do you know what that means? Do you know we're still bonded in different ways means?
Yes.
That means, alright, y'all free, but I still own some stuff around here.
Do you know?
Don't ever get that twisted.
When I was watching The Crown, yeah, none of them had holiday homes in Europe.
Wow.
If it was Scotland, that was the furthest. Or Gloucester. By the way, I was watching The Crown like, where are these places? Because y'all what are these lands that you just have? Right? But guess what their holiday homes were always? Africa and the Caribbean.
Mad.
They had spots there. Islands closed off for them. Yeah. So when we say you have to, it's that, like you said, the need to the humans be the survival instinct of a human being is you don't know what they will do.
Yeah.
Remember that story of the mountain when the people start eating people.
Yeah.
And Eddie Griffin was like, they'd be you eyeing up your homeboy by the second day, yo, nigga, you ain't gonna make it at night.
And I guess that's what Squid Game was about, and all of these different.
Hey, by the way, on the Squid Game, they went home and came back.
That's the coldest part of that show, you know.
Coldest part of the story.
They
them niggas fought for their freedom and came back.
They watched niggas die and said, "Yeah, let's go again."
Yeah, and you know what? What was everybody thinking? I can make that money.
And you know the coldest part is? It's the fact that when you have to imagine the psychology. When that guy was designing the game, he gave them a way out because he was so sure that they would come back.
That's the billionaire, bro.
That's the billionaire.
Because you have time on your hands, and they study people. They don't study people. They study life and conflict. Yeah. Remember the night they didn't give them enough food?
Yeah.
Remember I told you? Yeah. We're coming through the door blasting. They just that was just one night.
Bruh.
That was one night. That night they went blasting.
Yeah. It's like
imagine they starved them for the whole game.
It's like a game of The Sims. You can just tweak little things here and there and you see the effect it has overall.
Look at the tug of war episode.
Yeah.
Right? Them man toured up together, grown-ass men. They saw the other team with a bunch of women. How many of them thought, let's die for these women, because they're not going to be able to beat us. But they pulled them down so quick. Right. You see the part where, at the glass part, where the clock was ticking down, what did that guy do? He pushed him.
Yeah.
He pushed him.
That's human instinct to survive, man.
That's human instinct. Listen, I could take the same scenario to an audition room. You walk in, you see someone that you like, or you see someone that you know. You immediately think, I have to kill this audition because I don't want this nigga to get the job.
Yeah, I don't think I've had my life threatened enough to ever access that part of me, and I think maybe I need that more. Maybe I do need that more because
let's slow down a bit.
No, because here's the thing. You know what I was saying about black people, about being in a position of disadvantage because you're kind of lulled into this false sense of it's going to be fair and everyone's going to be nice to you. And so you don't actually go into situations with your guard up enough or you don't fight hard enough. There's an element to which...
Don't fight dirty.
Well, dirty, yeah, but dirty is the extreme. Like, we don't even fight most of the time.
Is dirty the extreme?
I think so.
What I'm saying is, okay, so for instance...
I think there's
hold on, in that episode of Squid Game, where he doesn't tell him what the shape is. That's fighting dirty. Is that extreme?
He doesn't tell him what
the shapes were, when he knew what the shape was.
Oh, okay.
That's fighting dirty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
You see what I'm saying? So I understand what you mean, but I understand there's dirt, there's extremes dirty where you're like, God, is there any cleaning you? But what I'm saying is, you know, when you change a line in a form to say, I earned this so I can get a, for instance, what people were doing with the bounce back loan, you refused to do that. You refused. Even though you could have created a document and been cool enough to get the money.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that's you being or is that not you fighting dirty enough? Or is there a bit of both in that?
I think there's an element of fighting dirty because you have to lie on a form, and you know you could be criminally prosecuted for that if they really wanted to investigate and all this kind of stuff. So I would say that's dirty, but that's obviously not the level of dirty as like Enron scandal or whatever. It's like it's like baby dirty. But right. I'm saying that that's like a dirty nappy kind of thing. Like, but for me, it's like when I talk about like comedy, for example, I think about how I can collaborate with people. I think about like, oh, we can work together, man. I could do Sunday service and create a platform and put comedians on and blah blah blah. And maybe if I had a bit more of a fighting mentality, like nobody's my friend and I'm in here, maybe I'd be I mean, who should I don't know if I should say his name. I'll say his name. Supposedly, comics would say that Jimmy Carr would intentionally show up late to gigs so that he could go on last to create this air of him being a headliner. And like, I just would never think to do that kind of thing. I would just be like, that's impolite to show up
you
late.
Posted a video under another video's comment saying you've stolen the material. How could you not be that guy? Now you're hustling wrong, nigga.
It's the thing.
McIntyre would go over his time all the time.
Yeah, I keep hearing these stories, and I don't have that fight in me. I don't think that's even
Kendrick.
Playing. What's that, sorry?
I'll say one thing to that. Kendrick.
What, like Control versus Kendrick?
Yeah.
You got to have a bit of darkness in you.
I'm surprised you don't. Do you know how much darkness is in me? I want to kill people.
Wow. And on that note, let's wrap up the pod.
I mean, it's so funny because I said it the other day. I was talking to myself. But I like to create wise quotes that will last for eternity. And I said, you know when people ask who's the best comedian and stuff like that, who's the best this and that? The truth is this. If someone was to ask you that, you know, do you think you're this? It's never the word you have to take for it. It's always going to be the work. Don't take my word for it. Take my work for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so when I say I want to kill people, you like that? You like that? I like that too.
Preach, preacher.
So when I say I want to kill people, what I mean is I want the work to be so potent, to be so good, it makes people uncomfortable. Not to envy me or not like me, but to do better. Wow. That's the seed we have to drop. Everything we do has to put in. When Snoop dropped his first album, everyone's like, these niggas, okay. When Tupac dropped Dear Mama, niggas is singing my mama now? All right, Dear Granny, nigga. That great grandma, nigga. What you know about that? She came off the slave ship. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to push the culture forward. So you're not supposed to necessarily just want to collaborate. I admire that spirit in you. But here's the thing, man, and this is why I say all the time, people will only ride your dick when it's hard.
Whoa, brother.
But here's the good thing about that, though. You get to jump on that dick.
Big pause, brother.
No, but you know, Allah, if you for some reason pop the juice tomorrow, right? And everybody's on your, you know, you've got free picture movie, you can literally just say, all right, everybody, and everybody will run around you. People would even forget. One time, Dane said he was doing Wahala, and they were offering him 100 or something like that, 120. And he was like, all right, cool, whatever. But then he got another gig who was going to pay him 180 or something, like 200. So he called Stamler saying, listen, I need to pull it, man, because I've got a show and they're going to pay me more. Because, bro, you can't do that. So they was like, what do you mean? Because imagine if I booked you for a gig and then I told you I have to pay you less because Sting, you've already done that. People will, if you blow tomorrow, people will forget the fuckery they did to you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is, I admire the spirit of camaraderie in terms of, you know, and I think it also attains to your search for self in a sense where, I don't know, you remember you said to me you don't have a mandem group.
Yeah.
So I feel like you try and create that in comedy as well. A bunch of people you ride with. Imran does that too.
Yeah.
But what I quickly noticed was the people who you thought were your peeps, they're not your peeps.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know, they're just smiling in your face. I've seen them talk behind you, and you're just like, Rob, but this guy really likes you.
Yeah.
Really respects you. And so that created that thing in me where it's like everybody, remember I told you when I come to a comedy, when I go to the club and I'm performing, I want everybody to not like me after. I want that awkward, that was good. Because they know they have to follow. I want that.
Yeah.
Because it's not me you're mad at, it's the work. Woo!
I like that. Don't take my word for it. Take my work for it.
Don't worry about what I say about if I'm funny or not. Worry about watch what I put out.
Yeah.
And you judge it on that.
Yeah.
You understand?
So
don't worry about collaborations and people liking you or being cool. I don't care if people like me. I got 4 siblings, man. They love me. Why the fuck do I care what people like?
Fair play, bro.
You see what I'm saying? So go in there with that. Fuck everybody, including me. Not literally. I mean, bun them. You understand? Come with the energy of nobody. Everybody's going to feel this pain inside in a creative aspect. That's what Tupac did. Everybody gonna feel this. Wow. When I saw on the news how she blocked the girl, Killer Tasha, now I'm screaming, fuck the world. The world was like, whoa, I ain't
in the end, it's my friends, the flip-flop.
Lip locked on my dick when my shit drops. See, he said that in the end, it's my friends, that flip-flop. Lip locked on my dick when my shit drops. Thug life, motherfucker. He's just all over the gap. Who can I?
That guy said, let everything out right now, bro.
Right, and that's where I'm at in that sense of, why do I have to care? You can call up people. I've called up producers who are getting shit made on Netflix. Yo, man, I wrote this, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah, bro. I feel like this is like that Big Brother talk that I never got because I was the eldest. But like, yo, sometimes you do need to kind of get that fire in your belly from somebody, which I don't really have. But at the same time, I respect that there's a time and there's a need for it.
I see it. Like when I came down to the store that day and then the bill was done, those things give you joy because you feel part of something, right? But if you look at it from the clear view, you're an outsider. They've always seen you as an outsider. We've got a very intelligent comic coming to the stage. What the fuck? Here's the thing that used to make me laugh. The people that just went on, none of them got offended by it. Oh, so my shit ain't intelligent, nigga. Can you see the comedy within that? Nobody took it personally. Yeah, this nigga reads. My jokes were just coming out of nowhere.
Oh man, that's funny.
Right. So they've always seen you as an outsider. So why are you trying to beg to be their friends? Make them regret that they saw you as an outsider. I don't even mean regret like that, but there's that element of it. You have to have some kind of vengeance inside. Like Tupac said, when revenge for the agony they did to me. That's why he went bananas on every single track, because he's like, I want to make them feel bad for even letting me go to jail. He said, how can I come back 10 times stronger? And boy, did he come back. So what I say that to say, don't worry about that camaraderie and trying to be nice and, go back to being that Allah. Listen, you don't like me, suck a dick.
Wow. I spent a lot of time in church trying to get that guy to behave.
Remember when I said to you, you're arguing with someone publicly that doesn't even play the store. Can you imagine that?
That's, bro, you say I'm the snobby one, bro.
That's how I see it. It's like, it's got to be a level when you start arguing. It's like when I used to argue on Twitter and I checked the guy's account. 9 followers. Hell no. Hell no. 9.
Oh, madness.
He's not trying, so why should I argue with him?
Absolute mazza.
So all I'm saying is, don't worry about that teamwork. Don't worry about if people like your shit. Don't worry about none of that because trust me, man, it's all bullshit, man. All that matters is the work. That's all that matters.
I hear you, G. I hear you, bro. Let's wrap this up, man.
How many quotes are you gonna take today? Because I don't quote at least 7 puck.
There's so many, but I'm losing my mind. I think is
yeah, that one worked in it. Losing my mind.
Yeah, losing my mind. All right, so that's the title for today. Shout out to everybody that's been listening and those that give us a lot of feedback. This is the first season where we're going past the 10 episodes. I hope you're happy. I I really appreciate those of you that take time out to let me know when you're listening. Do you get that? Do people message you to say, "Oh, I'm listening to the pod right now," and give you commentary?
Yeah.
They shout out some of them.
Why you like this movie all the time?
Okay.
It's like I'm never gonna change, innit?
Fantastic.
I'm not gonna change. I'm going to evolve, but you're always gonna get passion and whatever because you know what? Like you said, life is too short, man.
Oh, big up everyone that messages Fumbi. Big up everyone that messages me as well. Much love to you guys. Keep supporting us. Talk about it on socials. Tweet us. Whatever it is that it's gonna take in order to let people know that you are enjoying the pod. The Twitter or the social media handles Fumbi at Fumbi Omataya on Instagram, at Fumbi on Twitter, and for me it's at olathecomedian on everything because that's on neighborhood.
And that's on Crip.
And that's the BQ squad. Listen to the BQ pod. Peace. We out.
Yo, before you go.